Since the dawn of man, human consciousness has teemed with assumptions. Sometimes with no proof or justifications, they are hardwired into the unconscious mind. But one soldier would serve to destroy them all. His name was Ninh, and he could sniff out assumptions quicker than a bloodhound in heat. He was a cold-blooded killer, with a body temperature of 5 degrees less than Hillary Clinton's. They call him the Tongueless Dragon, a name derived from his bizarre speech impediment, which resembles Bill O'Reilly without his teleprompter. Belgrade, 87. The objective was simple. Get in, demonstrate the implications of the assumptions and clarify justifications for knowledge, and get out.
LSD gets him every time.
If we can't always assume that the senses detect reality, then aren't there implications? I mean, how do we know that this conversation right now isn't just a hallucination? I mean, aren't the senses a way of knowing, and thus a way of gaining knowledge? I completely understand, but my assumptions aren't always wrong. I mean, here I'm correctly assuming that this conversation is in reality, right? But how do you...
So how's the football team looking this year?
Pretty good. We're gonna win more than one game this year, I'll tell you that.
That's good, that's good. You guys play RM on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rivalries.
Yeah, I think that, But it's true that my thoughts are my own because it can be falsified.
This adheres to a scientific theory.
To survive, you must never argue with him, or you'll become chow for the bow.
Bow. I'm here with the notorious BAO, Ninh. Ninh, why do you think it's so detrimental for society to make assumptions? If your claim is that humans are unaware of their assumptions, how are you aware of them? Isn't that a hasty generalization?
But what Ninh didn't realize was that he would soon encounter the Gettier problem, a formidable opponent, even for the well-trained soldier.
One day, Ninh was walking along a jungle path looking for any enemies, rather anyone making false assumptions. He knows through his a posteriori knowledge that he obtained through experience, that people making questionable assumptions seem uneasy, look around and walk faster than normal pace. From a distance, Ninh sees a man walking, hands by his side, and constantly looking around. Assuming that the man was making a false assumption. However, the man was not. Ninh pulls out his knife but Nin's belief was justified because there was a man walking in front of his victim that was making a false assumption. This is where the Gettier problem comes into play. From afar, Ninh saw a man and thought to himself, "A man up there is making a false assumption." Ninh proceeded to throw a knife in the direction of the man and killed both of the men walking there. Ninh assumed that the man walking fast and looking around was the man making the false assumption. But Ninh did not see the other man who was actually making a false assumption. So he had justified true belief but not knowledge. That is the Gettier problem.
I was the lone survivor of Bao Nin's vicious attacks. Interestingly, I was curious as to what the thoughts of his victims were. As a professional necromancer, I pulled out my Ouija board and got to work. Here's what they said.
When forming assumptions and beliefs, reasoning as a way of knowing is often used. Good reasoning is called logic, and logic helps us form our assumptions by using knowledge already known to create or learn new knowledge. Both deductive and inductive reasoning can be used to form an assumption or belief. Bao Nin used deductive reasoning to identify his victims.
Is government authorized killing more ethical, such as in times of war, than in regular homicides? Our basic beliefs tell us that murder is wrong. However, on large scale, soldiers in time of war are glorified for killing. In our case, murder is not justified with Bao Nin because he is going around killing people, innocent people, and doesn't have any supporters. The ethics of an action are often influenced by the support of the action. Killing can be more ethical when supported by a higher authority, such as in times of war. Then public support is a result of appeal to authority. This is an appeal to authority fallacy.
The claim that human beings are not aware of their assumptions or based beliefs, much as fish are unaware of the water in which they swim, is true to an extent, but not all of these assumptions are damaging or illogical. The assumption that we sense reality and experience reality is needed to live life. Otherwise, you're living in hallucination. If the assumption works pragmatically, it is most likely true, especially if it satisfies the conditions for a truth. Truth must be universally accepted and experienced. It must also correlate with pre-existing truths. Also, many assumptions adhere to the scientific theory. They can be proved, and as of yet, they have not been falsified. For them to change, the assumption must be falsified and revised, causing a paradigm shift. Also, there is an inconsistency in the statement. If humans are unaware of these assumptions, how is Bao Nin able to point them out? Thus, the statement is only somewhat true. This claim must be revised so that humans are generally unaware of their basic assumptions until they are philosophically challenged. Yet, the center of this issue is language. In English, we have the word assumption, but in the Icelandic language, they have the word forsenda, which means heartfelt belief. Thus, language affects the way we think and understand epistemology. Because these concepts don't exist in some cultures, the idea of an assumption is unique to some cultures, causing other cultures to be unaware of the existence of assumptions in the first place.
The operation was terminated due to operational complications. Bao Nin slowly went insane and began to kill indiscriminately. I guess a diet of cold rat meat and dirt will do that to you. The more knowledge issues and counterclaims he could not refute, the closer he edged towards the brink of insanity. He even developed a taste for Maroon 5's catastrophic attempts at music. But one thing is for sure, he's retired for good.